Matt, aka Mouse, in my house, and on your screen today I'm going to take a look at a haul of stuff that I got recently at a Ontario Collectors Show, and I will leave a link to their YouTube page in the description, but let's take a look at the haul that I got. First off, I'm going to show you this Joker figure that I got from the original 1989 Tim Burton Batman. This is the second figure that I have from the Tim Burton version of Batman, the original 1989 movie. He does have a hole there in his back where you would have had a little button there that you could fill him up with water, and he would squirt water out of the flower here in his chest. I do not have that, but I thought this was a neat find. He has slightly more articulation than the average figure of that period. He does move at the arm and the head and the legs, but he does have knee joints too, which is not that common of that time period to see in these figures, but I thought that's kind of neat. So on to the next one. I ended up picking up this Return of the Jedi Princess Leia without any accessories, but I did not have this in my vintage Star Wars collection, so I picked her up. And I also got this shuttle pod from the scene in Star Wars when R2-D2 and C-3PO are escaping the Death Star. This originally came in Jawa Tatooine playset, and I remember playing with this as a kid, and I haven't seen one since, and I think I only paid like $5, but it's real basic. It opens up and there's a little control panel inside, and you can stick a figure inside with little pegs in there, R2-D2 and C-3PO, and that's the little shuttle pod that they escape in off of the Death Star. Next up, I got a couple of vintage G.I. Joes. I am not sure the name of this guy, so if you know who that is and you're into G.I. Joe, please tell me in the comments. But this guy here, this is Zangief from the Street Fighter series, and these were the very first Street Fighter figures they ever made were in G.I. Joe form. And I do have a couple other Street Fighter G.I. Joes, but I did not have this guy, and these are getting very hard to find, so I picked him up. And most of these were done off of old bodies of G.I. Joes that already exist, so they're not exactly the exact same uniforms that the video game characters wore, but the paint details are matched up to the same colors, at least, of the video game character costumes, but with different head sculpts. Now this is an old retro early 90s Titan Sport wrestling figure. I had a lot of these guys when I was a kid, and I did review a few of them, and they just recently been making newer figures back in this old retro style, but this here is what is his name again? Greg the Hammer Valentine, that's it. And he has a feature where he does a clothesline like this. And I've seen a lot of these come up at toy shows recently because of the new figures being sold. So I thought I'd get into collecting them again, and I haven't seen this guy, so I thought I'd pick him up. Here are a couple of figures that aren't in the best shape, but I thought I'd get them anyway. I might repaint these guys just for fun, for something to do in my spare time. But here's the original Raphael. You can see that he does have some scratches on his chest, but I thought he'd pick him up, and his head's a little loose, but I can fix that. It'll give me a project to do. And the original 90s Black Ranger. And I wasn't too much into Power Rangers when I was a kid, but I thought I'd pick this up anyway because I remember seeing them. And he does have a head that flips out of his chest, so you can reveal him unmasked or masked there. And close his chest back up. He has a lot of scratches too. I might repaint him for fun. And his leg joints are a little loose, so I might have to tighten those up. But I picked him up anyway. Now these two guys, these two Beetlejuice characters, I used to have as a kid. That's why I picked them up, and I've been finding it harder and harder to find Beetlejuice toys, at least in my area. And I got these guys complete at the show that I went to, and I remember having these as a kid, and they do have features with them. I'll show you just a minute. I'll go with this guy first. This is a Shish Kebab Beetlejuice, and he has spikes going through his chest, but they made it a little more cartoony in the toy version. They stuck little things on the spikes here, like you can't really see because they're all solid one color, but there's like a hamburger, a hot dog, an eyeball, a rat, a snake, a tarantula, but they're all spikes that you can stick through his chest, and they come out just like that, and you can stick them back in. And his head does come off to reveal an eyeball, just like that. And all the heads in this toy line were interchangeable. And I'll show you the other guy. This is Showtime Beetlejuice from the scene where he shows up, and he has big long arms, like he's using hammers in a carnival, and he's got like the top of his head is like the top of a ring circus, and he's got the little snake here, like when he turns himself into a snake on the banister in the movie. And his head does go up like that, and if you take it off, it reveals a little snake head. So the snake head goes up like that. All of the heads, like I said, are interchangeable in this toy line, but I thought it was fun to find this again because I haven't seen him since I had him as a kid, so I picked him up. This next guy here is from the Real Ghostbusters cartoon show and toy line. I had a lot of Ghostbusters toys as a kid and watched the cartoon all the time, but I did not have this guy as a kid, and I got him complete with his motorcycle for $5, so I thought that was a great deal. So I'll show you him, this motorcycle guy. He's not that detailed, but he's got a little skull with a crack down on the back. But what you can do with him is remove the top of his face. It comes down like this, and then there's a kind of a scary monster face inside, and the bottom is a motorcycle engine and a wheel there. So that's that guy, and I'll show you his bike that he comes with. Here's the bike there, or a little scooter, should I say. And this also transforms into a ghost. Face opens up there. Wheel comes down to reveal like a claw. And the sides come out too. And there are little hands underneath. So there's that monster guy. Hands are kind of tough to get out. But there's a look at the little scooter monster ghost there. One more vintage Star Wars toy that I forgot to mention that I picked up is this vintage Biker Scout bike that I got. I already had the figure, but I did not have the bike. So I just put my old figure on there, and I got this for, I think, less than or around, I think I paid a little over 10, less than 15 bucks for this. So I thought that was a good find, and all the pieces are there. It's got the little legs on the back, and then they do close. The little brake flaps there at the end. And there is a button that makes it come apart, but I'm not going to do that right now because the pieces go flying and you have to put it back together. But I'll just show you a quick look of it. And I did have this as a kid too, so it was a great find. Now I did pick up one carded figure, and for $5 I thought, why not? I do collect a lot of the 90s cartoon Spider-Man figurines because I did watch the cartoon quite a lot as a kid, along with the 90s X-Men cartoon. I watched Spider-Man all the time. I haven't seen this lizard figure before, but this is a Web Force Spider Smash Lizard. So he comes with all this weird stuff here. It comes with some like garbage cans with some kind of ooze on them, and comes with a drill and some kind of pipes and electronics attached to them there. I'm not exactly sure what it's supposed to be, but I never had a lizard figure, so I thought I'd pick this up because it was cheap and still on card. I'll show you the back. So there's the back there, and there's some other characters that were in the line. I guess there was a Daredevil in that line too, but I'm not sure what I'll do with this. I might open it up. I know it's an old toy, but Spider-Man is not that expensive, and I might just open it up just to display the figure, but we'll see. Last but not least, I got a couple Spumco comic books done by the same artist who made Ren and Stimpy, and I got a couple here. I got this one there and that one there, and they always have kind of gross out humor, like burping and farting and weird stuff like that. If you've ever seen Ren and Stimpy, then you know what I'm talking about, but it's always gross out humor. But I thought they were pretty cool, so I picked them up too. So that completes my haul, and like I said, I'll leave a link to the Ontario Collectors Show YouTube, so you can check them out. And thanks for watching, and I'd like to get some more subscribers. There's lots of people out there who do toy hauls and toy reviews for money, but I do all this for fun, and I'm not making any money off of my videos. I just do it purely for fun to share with other collectors. So please like, please follow, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.
Shit, Ubu, shit. Good dog.